Flipping flashcards, say you wanna die. Sipping Mai Tais, fetish in your eye. So flipping flashcards, say you wanna die. Those flashcards are the letters that were on her bed. And like sipping Mai Tais, fetish in your eye, like this is all like metaphorical stuff that's directly related to this person. So I literally took that whole scenario and crafted a story. Like I really encourage people when they listen to my music to read the lyrics and find the meaning.
Howdy, 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 hey. This is Process, Purpose, and Passion, the show that talks about pursuing your passion and navigating through the twists and turns that come with it. This show is real. It ain't easy when you're walking in your purpose, but it's only right. This show is dedicated to the artist and anyone who is ready to say yes to their calling. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
This episode is brought to you by Artist Pro, the only platform to manage your entire entertainment career. People join Artist Pro to track their media rights, find and book work, and connect with anyone in the media and entertainment industry around the world. Be seen, be heard, and be found at artistpro.com. That's ARTISTEPRO.com.
Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Kaden James, and I am here with a really exciting guest. If you've ever wondered what it's like to fly over stage, kind of like Pink or Cirque du Soleil, my next guest is going to be super exciting for you because it is Tarzan. But not only that, he's worked for the Magic Kingdom, but he actually is dropping an EP that is stellar. It's out of this world, and it's called Kingdom. So I'm here with Scott Mulligan.
Ironically, it's called Kingdom, right?
I know, it's perfect. It's a perfect title for it.
Like the whole journey of going from Disney's Tarzan to like this music that I'm releasing now. It's just this whole like kingdom mentality is like my story, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was it like to play Tarzan and to fly out over everybody?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, my grand entrance, they lift me like 70 feet in the air.
Wow.
So it was at an outdoor amphitheater called Tuacahn Amphitheater right outside of Las Vegas. And I played for 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It literally looked like a literal jungle. And so I would fly down onto stage. I'd fly upside down over people. Disney Theatricals put it on, so it was about a $5 million production. So they were able to have fireworks, flood the stage. Like, they went all out.
Now, are you afraid of heights?
No, I
okay.
love roller coasters. Like, I have a season pass to Magic Mountain. That's the first thing I did when I moved to LA.
Oh, nice.
So it was awesome. They even gave me like a Vegas billboard. I'm like, I can say I have a shirtless Vegas billboard.
Wow. Not everybody can say that.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
So now when you were doing all of this, you have to be fully in character as you're doing all these stunts?
Oh, absolutely. I have to literally be singing while I'm flipping upside down and doing crazy stuff.
Wow.
So the training was crazy. I got a personal trainer, a vocal coach, like just to learn how to breathe and go everywhere on that stage. Like, it really, prepared me to be in a stadium, so that's the kind of music that I put out there now, is like that empathetic, like stadium rock,
Yeah, and you've done music for a really long time, since you were really young, right?
Yeah, I started singing. My parents have home videos of me at like the age of like 1 to 2, literally singing songs saying, I'm going to be famous in Hollywood one day. So It's literally been in my mind since as young as I can remember.
And were they always supportive of it?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Both my parents were supportive of it. Which is like a different story than you hear a lot of the times. People's parents are like, you need to be a doctor and do this, but my parents always wanted the best for me. It was just hard because, where I'm from a suburb outside of Seattle. So, going to school and stuff, I didn't really, have a network of artists and opportunities as if, these kids in LA today, like, there's a lot of stuff out here, but, I did what I could, from like school plays to doing a punk rock band in high school. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. And you remember like the first songs you created?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You've always been a songwriter as well, right?
Yes, songwriting has definitely been my passion. So I'm classically trained. I went to Boston Conservatory at Berklee School of Music, and so I was a theater major there, but I also had an emphasis in songwriting. So I actually wrote my first song when I was about 14 years old.
Do you still remember it?
Yeah. It's called Chance. Could there be a chance when going down this broken path? It was like the hook of the song.
So deep lyrics, even.
Yeah,
at
I was
that age.
writing really deep from a young age, and so my mom always says like, you were always writing stories, and so writing is definitely a part of my artistry. Like, if you guys hear my EP Kingdom, that's out on all outlets right now, every word and all the melodies like just come out of my heart and soul.
And where did that depth come from at such a young age? I mean,
oh man, like I kind of had a hard childhood growing up. My parents went through a really bad divorce, and I was bullied a lot in school. But I used like music as my escape. That was my safe haven, so to speak.
So now becoming Tarzan and dropping this EP and doing all these awesome things, playing shows, selling out, the Viper Room and all these really awesome venues. What would you say to like your younger self?
Man, if I could like literally talk to my younger self right now, I would just encourage him and, like give him hope, because even though I was always determined to pursue music and pursue the arts, but that was my passion. But when you have naysayers and people with just the wrong energy and outlook towards life telling you it's not worth it, don't do it, you don't got what it takes, like I literally had to turn all of that around. So really this EP Kingdom is the celebration of me doing just that.
I'm the beast, I'm the chief, I'm the playmaker, I'm a winner, I'm a conqueror, I'm the force, I'm the source of the universe. Feel the night, feel the vibe, feel the motion, scent of the pine, sip of the wine, feeling the motion, sign of the time, flip of the dime, and this devotion, welcome to my kingdom.
Now I heard the title track to Kingdom, and it was really great. I could hear so much like heart and soul in your voice too. So like with that EP, what are some of the songs that like really just stand out for you?
Right. I mean, Kingdom, it's very deep. Like it's very metaphorical. I think like some of my inspirations are like Imagine Dragons and Panic at the Disco. And so they influenced me growing up, and now with like Post Malone and Billie Eilish, like I even take some of their influences. So really my music is a mesh between and cross between a lot of genres. So in terms of the songwriting aspect though, I pull from that pain, I pull from the breakups, I pull from not feeling good enough. Like one song I have is called Get Up.
Get up, get up, get up. I wanna feel you all again. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. From the fear, get ready for the best time of your life. I never wanna hear you say goodbye.
Get up, get up, get up, and just emphasizing what that means to get up from depression or fear or anxiety, all those things that like hold us down. I can now encourage people that there's hope to come out of that.
Yeah, and as artists, I know that there's a lot of people watching right now or listening to this, and they can relate to that. I mean,
Absolutely.
As an artist, a lot of times it is kind of a lonely journey, and you are sharing so much of your truth. What would you say to other artists that are listening that, just need that encouragement to like push forward?
I would say don't listen to anybody else but your own intuition. Like what your heart and what you know inside that makes you happy, like only focus on that. Sometimes you got to tune out the world, because you know what's best intuitively, you know. Going back really quick to one of the songs I was talking about, Get Up. So when I moved back to LA 6 months ago, I brought a lot of my artist friends with me from Seattle.
Oh, wow.
And one of my friends, when she came here, she was super, super depressed. And, you know, she was living with me at the time. And, you know, her bedroom door was left open one night. And we come and we find all these suicide letters on the bed. And, you know, we called the cops right away. We called her parents. And, you know, we were actually able to stop her from killing herself and overdosing.
Wow.
And the one thing when she was in rehab that kept her holding on was, I said, I wrote a song for you. And I recorded it. And like she started bawling. But I think that hope in that song, Get Up, which it features one of my best friends in 7th grade, Zarita Marks, who also moved down here with me. It features her on the hook of the song.
Can you share a little bit of the lyrics? I mean, you don't have to sing it, but if you
like the verse is flipping flashcards, say you wanna die, sipping Mai Tais, fetish in your eye. So flipping flashcards, say you wanna die. Those flashcards are the letters that were on her bed. And like sipping Mai Tais, fetish in your eye, like this is all like metaphorical stuff that's directly related to this person. So I literally took that whole scenario and crafted a story. Like I really encourage people when they listen to my music to read the lyrics and find the meaning. And I try to make my meaning universal for everybody. So it's like, okay, yes, that applies to my story, but it can also apply to your story as well.
Yeah.
You know?
That's really powerful. Yeah. And the fact that you put your truth into that,
absolutely,
that means the fans are really going to get
right,
to know you as they hear your,
right,
yeah, your material.
You know, and I think that's so important for artists these days because, you know, I think music is going in more of a direction where people want just authenticity and realness. Yeah. And they want to hear the artist's story. It's all about, where did you come from? Who are you? You know, identity is a huge theme within my music because, you know, I had a trouble finding my identity growing up. You know, so like one year I'd be gothic, one year I'd be a skater, you know. I think it was like that because I was trying to fit in. And so really, Kingdom is about self-acceptance. And this is my kingdom. Are you in for the ride? You know, welcome to my kingdom, hear the voice inside. That voice is an intuition I was talking about.
I love that. I love that. So you feel very like solid in who you are today, and when you get on stage, you're fully yourself. Yeah. You're not playing a role. You're not...
Exactly. Like, you know, when I was doing Tarzan, I was still playing another character. Like, my dream is to sell out stadiums and arenas as myself, giving that message to the world. You know, I'm a fully trained actor and everything else, but sometimes, and I think it's great to tell other people's story, but my goal is to strip off any facade, and just really love who I am today. You know, people may look at all the great things that I've accomplished today, but that took work. Like, that took a lot of pain, a lot of tears, a lot of pressing on when I didn't think I could, you know. So you know, muscle builds when you tear it, right?
Yeah, totally true.
So even like having the confidence to be shirtless on stage is like, you know, I'm not trying to be self-indulgent. I'm just proud of where I came from, because I used to be this scrawny little guy that God made fun of, and now it's like anyone can transform themselves.
Yeah.
Transformation comes from within,
So how did you build that confidence within yourself? Like, was there a moment that you kind of can point to where somebody gave you a piece of advice or something that just shifted in you?
I think when I was playing Tarzan, I was still going through a really bad breakup at that point, and still discovering who I was. And I always had this burning passion to do music and put my songs out there. So I was actually discovered by a super producer named Sam Harmonix, who's worked with T.I., Bruno Mars, Jamie Foxx.
Good company to be in.
Yeah. And he was amazing, and I spent some time in North Carolina before I moved to LA, recording just albums worth of music, and really finding my own original sound and truth. And when you hear the Kingdom EP, you will hear, wow, this doesn't sound like anything like I've heard. Like, I pull from so many different references and genres that I really created what I feel like is my own piece of art, my own canvas. So being able to make this new music, slowly over time, I built that confidence and identity. So not only did I find my identity musically, but like spiritually as well.
Yeah. So it's like brick by brick. That kingdom doesn't happen overnight.
A kingdom, you start with the sand, and then you build it. And now it just keeps building. It's not like I've arrived yet. I don't think as artists we ever feel, oh, I've arrived,
What was that moment like when you released this EP? Because you've been building this kingdom kind of on your own for a while, or with the producers and everybody collaborating, but it's kind of on your own, and then you take it into the world. What's that moment like when you put it out there?
You're able to showcase your art. And I feel a lot of artists these days are sometimes stuck behind the studio or stuck behind a camera or social media. And I've really got the most satisfaction of singing live. When I'm able to sing my own songs all around Hollywood and Los Angeles and feel their effect on the people in front of me in real time, that's the most rewarding experience.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's powerful because you're connecting in real time.
You're
like you said,
connecting with these people. Like, social media helps us connect, but nothing is like feeling that energy in person.
That's so true. So what are your plans like going forward into the future with touring? And
I mean, the goal is just continue to build this fan base. I've sold out a lot of shows here in Los Angeles, and
not easy to do either.
No,
it's not easy. This is a tough crowd in LA.
From Peppermint Club, Viper Room, Soho House.
And we get spoiled here because we have so many artists from all over the world.
But it's such a special place. And I think that's what sometimes people forget. It's like, oh, LA, there's some stereotypes about it, but it is the most magical place on earth, I believe, because everyone here has a dream. And is following that dream and pursuing
that passion. And it doesn't matter what anybody's dream out there is. Like, this kind of hustle and dedication should inspire everybody out there to follow their dreams as well. Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't matter if you're trying to get that promotion at work, if you're trying to date that person you like. It takes confidence, and it sounds like you've really built a lot of that confidence in yourself.
And confidence, like, again, it's a gradual process. It takes time. You're never going to feel fully complete it's a journey.
It's like going to the gym.
Exactly.
You got to stay in that
Right,
gym.
right, exactly.
Keep those muscles, right?
But
and you know a lot about that
the
too.
momentum of moving forward. The
Yeah.
momentum of going to the gym every day, rehearsing every day, like getting in a rhythm. Life is about a rhythm.
Yeah.
And getting into those habits that really transform you.
So when it comes to fear, I know that that's like a really big challenge that a lot of artists face, and people are scared to put their songs out there. They're scared to get that feedback or even getting on stage.
Yeah.
How do you know when it's a fear you want to tackle and when it's a fear that you're just going to be like, okay, that's really not?
When you were saying that, it reminded me of one of my favorite records on the EP called Limelight. And it's about, can I cuss on here? Okay. I say, jealous bitches mad because they ain't getting paper. I don't give a damn because I'm a money maker. Like, and it's funny, but like I go through this. It's kind of like a trap rock record. You know, if like Post Malone and Imagine Dragons like made a record, like this is what it would be.
Yeah.
You know, in a way. But it talks about like all of my haters in school growing up and the bullies. When I started really doing music and stuff and doing the Tarzan, people found me on Facebook, tried to like act like they were my best friend again. And I'm like, do you not even remember like the things like you said to me and how you treated me all throughout school? You know, one of the verses is, fans are blowing up your page. Do you feel me now? They be stalking all your shit to see what you're about when you live in the limelight. You know, when you're on your way up to the top, you know, and you're trying to become successful, you will really see the people who truly rock with you and the people who just want to be vultures and leeches, you know. They come out of the woodwork, as my mom would say.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like, oh man, you thought these people that pretended to be there for you are just ill-intended a little bit, and you really see people's true colors.
Have you gotten apologies too, as well?
Yeah.
From some of these bullies? Yeah.
It's funny.
Now they're following you on Facebook or Instagram and everything.
But back to, you know, the point with fear and like overcoming that, I really had to, you know, look at what the truth in the situation was. And like, man, that whole time growing up, I always knew what I wanted to do. And I think it's so important to have a purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of people are living their life with no purpose and can be jealous of other people who know their purpose. And I think that's just a lack of knowing oneself.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and you did that at a very young age. You were able to figure out what it was that you really wanted to offer. And then over time, you've just cultivated that and grown it. So
it's funny. Cultivate, activate, radiation is one of the lines in Kingdom. And that's what it is. It's like I'm activating this like radioactive like power within me to give me that confidence, to help me overcome fear. So before I used to run away from fear, and I used to run away from people who made fun of me. And now like I have this mentality to just attack that, you know, in a good way, because like if someone's talking shit about somebody, I'm not just gonna sit back. I'm gonna step in, you know, and we need more people to do that, especially for the young kids out there who are being harassed and bullied and threatened, and it's crazy. I didn't have all this social media like we do now, you know, when I was a little kid. But I think it's very important to know that everyone has a similar journey. Like no one's story is worse than someone else's. it all communicates a different message to the world.
Okay, another great question.
Yeah.
So Pink, we talked about how you were flying and everything, but Pink is an artist that when she first was launched, she had kind of this identity. And Christina Aguilera is another really good example for this. She had an identity that was kind of manufactured for her. And then she took that and changed and how so artists that kind of start out that way, what advice would you give them to like shift?
A lot of times that choice isn't in their hands, right? They have people around them wanting something specific that's gonna bring in money, right? So I don't blame them because they have a passion and were put on this earth to perform and do their art. And sometimes the only way people have an opportunity to do that is to, you know, quote, sell out, you know, as people call it, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't look at it as that though. You know, I see it as, you know what, I have an opportunity to share my voice and myself with the whole world. Why does it matter what it looks like right now? You know, why does it have to be a bad thing? I think it's a great thing because then you see their evolution from the first stage to the last stage, but does that mean the first stage was wrong?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's like it's almost like acting a role. So when you're on like a Disney show, for instance, and say Disney gives you your first record deal, it's going to look a lot different than maybe what it'll look like in 10 years. So I totally agree with that. I think that's a great answer. That's the question I get an answer, but I'll have you answer it. Are major studios still branding and rebranding artists? Like, have you seen that with some of the people you work with?
Are they continually branding and rebranding artists?
Yeah, like probably labels. I'm thinking that's what.
I would say, I think our generation is leaning more towards artists' individual self-expression because there's no one like Billie Eilish. There's no one like Lizzo. There's no one like Post Malone. Like, it's not the same cookie cutter image as it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like it reminds me of the Lady Gaga movie. What was it? What was it called again? With
A Star Is Born?
Yeah, Star Is Born.
Yeah.
Like the story of A Star Is Born was like they tried to make her be this pop icon,
yeah,
and then she's like, screw this, I'm gonna be myself.
Yeah.
You know, so that is one thing that scares me because it's like, okay, my music is so different. It pulls from all these different genres, from alternative rock to trap to country, pop, like all mesh into one. What if people don't accept it? You know, what if a record label, you know, is like, well, that's not what we're looking for. You know, like, I had to overcome that because that idea in itself was limiting me. And I think in our generation, like, we can look to someone like Lady Gaga who is like, screw this, I'm gonna do me, like, and came out as that. Like, a lot of that stuff was her original ideas and songs, and you know.
And it feels like when the corporate end of it gets out of the way, the artist can just focus on doing what the artist naturally just is gifted at.
But we need the corporate, and I think that's what we failed to realize sometimes.
Well, it is a business for sure.
Yeah.
So we need it for like marketing and things like that, but for the artist to be fully the artist. So maybe there is kind of a middle ground that can be found. Do you think?
Yeah, I think that, and also, like, I think executives and people, they've been doing it for a long time. They know what sells. And think sometimes we can have like a bad connotation with that.
Yeah.
But why does that have to be a bad thing? Because it works.
I think that it is a difficult
Yeah, it's a
line
slippery
because you
slope.
want to go a little bit this way, but then you don't want to go so far
Right.
that you lose your own identity as
Right.
an artist. I think a lot of people feel that.
But look at it this way. All the artists who started out as that cookie cutter,
Then they get the power and can do it their way.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's-
I see where you're going with that.
Like,
yeah.
I think we just got to change our perception on that. And like I said, like today's music industry looks so different. And that's why it's so amazing to be a part of it, because we have all these different representations.
Yes. I think that's
Like, look at what Lizzo's
really
doing
wonderful.
right now.
Yeah. But I do think, going back to that though, I think it's very frightening.
Yeah.
I think for an artist to go in a different direction from like their center, their core, and what they really want to put out there.
absolutely.
Because you have to live in the moment. You have to live for today.
Right.
And we're not promised
Right.
time.
Of course.
So if you go in a direction that's completely counter to
Right.
who you are,
I totally
to
agree.
sell records, or
Right.
I think that that's a really frightening thing too, because you may not be giving what you are here to give.
And that's the thing. It can be tempting to accept a deal, but you gotta know, like, what do you want to be? What is your purpose, basically? You know,
Yeah.
we can be a slave to a lot of different things, but being a slave to some things is bad, but being a slave to some things is good, like to music and rehearsing.
Maybe just the Britney
know what I
song,
mean?
but that's
Right?
about it. I don't know about that. All right, what is some more? The business side of the industry. Oh, we're getting a lot of business questions here.
Business.
Oh, we kind of covered that actually. That's great. Staying true to yourself.
Yeah. No, but I think you had a good point with what you were saying about, it'll feel... You had
Just
a
say
good,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What I was saying is you had a good point with saying, it's about living in the moment and sticking to your true self. If you have people telling you to do this and that, sometimes artists though can be really, really stubborn and be like, no, my stuff's really, really good. You can't make me. I'm like, listen to your mentors, listen to your advisors and your managers, and they know you need people to help.
Yeah.
Because they know what works. Some things work, some things don't. And that's the beauty of it. Like, and I think you can still have your artistic freedom and expression within the help of other people packaging you.
Yeah.
Or whatever, branding you.
One, it's like back in the day.
Yeah.
This is really back in the day,
have
but
that old
they used to
concept.
have records, and they'd have like an
Right.
A side and a B side.
Yep.
And the A side was the one that they thought, okay, that one's gonna sell.
Yeah.
But then the B side would be like the song that they're not sure about.
Right.
So artists can have that as well. You could have a couple songs on there for you that are really to the core of who
Right.
you are, but maybe it's not going to be a top 40 hit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I have some records like that too. Like Kingdom is very alternative and but it's still catchy, but I don't really know until that's put out there for the world to make that decision of what's going to sell and what's going to flop. Like, no one really knows until it's put out there. Look at Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, of
You know?
course.
They told him not to release it, but
Yeah.
he did.
Or that would never work.
That would never work or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no one really knows because it's in the hands of the world.
And I think as long as you're putting it out there and you're being true to yourself in that way, I think that's
Yeah.
really powerful too.
There's always a second chance for anybody, it's just overcoming those obstacles, the fear, saying screw you to the haters, wiping off bad energy and bad vibes and just vibrating with good stuff. That's what we made it.
This was so great. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.
Hey, now I know you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for tuning in again to VOA Live, Process, Purpose, and Passion. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for tuning in again. Let's do life on purpose, baby. Thank you. Wow.